On to other updates. Myanmar's leader Aung San Suu Kyi, speaking at The Hague, defended her country's military action against the Rohingya. Key takeaways from the arguments that were made by the leader: she said that Gambia has put out misleading and non-factual reports on what happened in Rakhine in Myanmar. She called the case of violence in Rakhine a complex one which is centuries old. While she admitted that the military used air power in Rakhine state on one occasion, she added that the military mainly retaliated in self-defense. She said that the conflict in Rakhine state is centuries old and demanded that legal proceedings should run its course. Suu Kyi also claimed that the term clearance operation has been misinterpreted by the world community.
There was some intercommunal violence. Buddhist and Hindu minority communities also feared for their security after the original Arthur attacks, and many fled from their homes. It may be worth noting that the use of air power in military operations was avoided as far as possible to minimize the risk of collateral damage. However, in one incident, in order to extract a unit surrounded by hundreds of AUSA fighters, the use of a helicopter was required. There was shooting from the helicopter, which resulted in fatalities, which may have included non-combatants. Mr. President, it cannot be ruled out that disproportionate force was used by members of the defense services, in some cases in disregard of international humanitarian law, or that they did not distinguish clearly enough between ARSA fighters and civilians. Regrettably, the Gambia has placed before the court an incomplete and misleading factual picture of the situation in Rakhine State in Myanmar. Yet it is of the utmost importance that the court assess the situation obtaining on the ground in Rakhine dispassionately and accurately.
The first 3 days of the hearings will focus on military clearance operations in 2017 against the Rohingya Muslims. Remember, Rohingya Muslims are a minority in Myanmar. The operation forced 700,000 people to flee across the border to neighboring Bangladesh. Myanmar is a Buddhist majority country that considers the Rohingya to be illegal immigrants and denies them citizenship. A closer look at the accusations that have been made. The military in Myanmar launched operations against the Rohingya in Rakhine. They are accused of widespread and systematic clearance operations against the community. Reports suggest that the military intended to destroy Rohingya as a group. The military is also accused of mass murder and rapes. In 2017, 1 million Rohingya Muslims lived in the Rakhine state. Myanmar considers Rohingya to be illegal immigrants. Aung San Suu Kyi was once considered a human rights champion. In fact, in the year 1991, Aung San Suu Kyi was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize. But over the years, she has faced international backlash over the Rohingya issue, among others. This case reached the International Court of Justice after Gambia accused Myanmar of breaching the 1948 Genocide Convention enacted following the Holocaust. Gambia is a predominantly Muslim West African country, 57-member Organization of Islamic Cooperation, and a team of international lawyers supporting Gambia. And our correspondent Nina Maria Potts is joining us live from Brussels for more on that. Nina, the first 3 days of the hearings will focus primarily on the accusations that have been made against the military, specifically the clearing operations, as they are called. Explain to our viewers, procedurally speaking, what happens next.
Well, I mean, just to explain what happened today at the International Court of Justice, Myanmar's civilian and de facto leader Aung San Suu Kyi delivered a very powerful and forensic analysis of her view of what happened in Myanmar, really taking apart Gambia's claims against Myanmar piece by piece. Outside the court, there were some protesters, but mainly supporters of Aung San Suu Kyi, who believe that she is there to defend the country's international reputation, but also domestic sovereignty. Aung San Suu Kyi, the case that she put before the court today was really focused on the fact that, according to her, Myanmar itself is investigating these crimes, that it has, in certain instances, sentenced members of the military who, in her words, kind of overstepped their remit and may have committed crimes. She said that it's been disappointing in some cases to see that those sentences were overturned or even cut short. But she said that all of this shows that Myanmar itself is very much investigating human rights violations, but in that case, a country cannot be accused of genocidal intent if it has undertaken a process, a judicial process, and really is intent on being perpetrators, bringing perpetrators to justice.
Right. Nina, we also have been giving our viewers a better sense of the reactions that have been coming in from across the world and the criticism that Myanmar has faced, be it from the US or from other quarters, and the very fact that this case has reached the International Court of Justice.
According to Aung San Suu Kyi, the international community is rushing into this process without giving Myanmar the opportunity to investigate these crimes, which she doesn't deny, without really giving Myanmar the opportunity to investigate these crimes itself. So Myanmar itself is, she says, investigating, and she's asked the international community to hold off until Myanmar has gone through this process.